third time this evening trying to get this multi-stream party on the road, and it's proving really, really difficult. So I'm using something called Streamlabs Ultra, which so far has been really great. But right now it's proving to be a bit of it's been a little bit difficult. Is that working, Ponder? Are we working, bro? Are we on? Is it worked? Let me know if that's working. It lives. Okay, Twitter is working. Yes! Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here. It's taken me, how long has it taken me? Oh my God, it's taken me almost 20 minutes to get the stream up and working. These are the joys of yet again being on the forefront of technology. It seems I spend my life as an early adopter, and what that means is I get all the cool tech, like the ability to multi-stream from a bunker, a secret bunker, that used to be a VHS copying facility in the 80s, on multiple platforms. The problem with that experience, novel as it is technically it's a little bit difficult. Hey, we got Twitch, we got YouTube, and we've got X, and I love you. I love the fact you wait around, you lovely people. Thank you so much. And it's going to be worth it because we've got some really great graphics to show you. And in fact, one of the reasons that I've been so quiet in the last few days on the Discord and all that lot is because I've actually been working on some graphics. Just bear with me, I just need to do one thing here. Just give me a second. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, I've been working on some graphics for the show, like a show kind of logo and a style, some VTs, as we used to call them in TV, or stings. So Magic Knight 75, good to see you. Professor Giles, thank you for the congratulations. All I did was I took Instagram out of the mix, which is a real shame because my Insta posse, that's Posse, are really loyal and really enjoy the content. What a shame. Mans, hello Mans, how you doing, babe? Good to see you. John UK, Philip Hoy, Bruce 93, Dust Gamer Ponder. Yeah, so we're working. It's all good. So welcome to a Way of the Exploding show. What we should probably do is get rid of that music there. Ah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, absolutely great week. Been really focused on the graphical content of this show, so that I can kind of spruce it up a little bit and get some of the segments and the items and the structure a bit more sorted. The Discord, Phil Hoy, he's asking about the Discord. Can someone put it in chat? I don't know how to find the URL for the Discord. I also need to change the name of the Discord to the name of this show because it's actually named after my previous show, 80s Electro Breakdance Party. Oh, there we go. I think it's up in chat now. We'll do that. Meantime, though, let me know in chat. Make some noise in chat if you want to see the new Sting, the new intro titles. That's what I want to see. Let's get some love, some emotes in chat, and I will cue those titles. I've not got them hooked up to my posh Stream Deck buttons yet. I have to do it with my mouse, but we should be able to work it out. Let me know when you want to see it. Give me some love in chat because I've done some really great work. I've been learning all about compositing and masks and all kinds of cool stuff. So here we go. Should we start the show? Let's do it. Welcome to the show, guys. Way of the Exploding Show, where we look at all things pop culture with a retro twist, going live on X, YouTube, Facebook, I think, and of course Twitch, and sometimes Instagram, but not this evening. Yeah, so what do you think of the new titles? I love them. They're a bit loud, aren't they? I need to just slide down that volume there. They're the new titles, which I'm really, really pleased with. Let us know what you think. Thanks, Ponder. Scott, hello there, Daniel Stride. Nice to meet you. Thank you for those lovely words. Great to be inspiring to you, my friend. Very shiny, Dust Gamer Man. Very new. Pretty cool. Thank you, Dust Gamer Man. Yeah, we're going to evolve those things as they go. We'll have some questions about those titles as well in the quiz, because I like to wring out every bit of relevance that I can. Okay, so so basically what we've got tonight is a quick roundup of news. We're going to welcome Mark, my co-writer, into the show, because you know that this show is sponsored by the movie that both of us have recently created. We wrote a film called FUAI, and we're soon going to be taking it to Kickstarter, and we're going to be asking all of you lot, hopefully, to get involved and pledge for some cool stuff like t-shirts and, you know, signed posters and other cool merch and opportunities to come on set and that, to try and get together a budget and make this thing happen. I know a lot of you are very familiar with that, so don't think that I'm not aware of how pivotal you've been so far to the project. But I thought it was quite a nice idea to sponsor the show, to sponsor Where the Exploding Fist. Exploding Fist, there's a little Freudian slip. Great game on the Specky. Where the Exploding Show with the film. So that's the idea. Okay, marvellous stuff. We'll just stop this and we'll run the next thing, which I've also been working on, which should hopefully usher in the news. It's Where the Exploding News. And first on the news this weekend, let's have a look. What have we got? Yeah, this is interesting. News that Roadhouse, do you remember Roadhouse? What was that? What year was that? Was that 89, was it? Patrick Swayze. And to pull that poster up a little bit. There we go. Roadhouse is one of many movies to see the remake scenario happening at the moment. Some of you might have seen a trailer. I thought this was just a rumour about a year ago, and I was actually quite surprised when the trailer dropped. Have you seen it? Let me know if you've seen the trailer. There's the original poster with the amazing Patrick Swayze. May he rest in peace. What an amazing guy. And it's a really interesting movie in many ways, not just because it's a remake of an 80s classic with a seminal 80s actor in it, but also the cast is really, really interesting. Did you notice a particular superstar from USC in that picture there? Have you seen the trailer? Let me know. Let's have a look. Remake of Roadhouse, says McGaffrey. McGaffrey's in the house. Good to see you. Lovely to see you. Let's have a look. Love the original, said Puddycat. It was unashamedly 80s. Yeah, it was super 80s. About a guy that works in a sort of bar, dance club type thing. And kind of all the kind of macho stuff he gets up to. I'm not going to say too much because we might have a question about it in the quiz. But yes, what's the name of the other actor? What's the name? I can see you, Conor McGregor. I recognise Conor McGregor. The name of the other guy, my brain's gone. I can't remember his name. Conor McGregor, though, really interesting casting, don't you think? He plays a bad guy. Check the trailer and you'll see him at work. And it's difficult to tell you whether it's going to be any good or not, his performance, but it looks good so far. It's a bit like Vinnie Jones, you know. It's like a kind of familiar sports star who's been cast in a role as a baddie, and actually because he's a genuine tough guy, like Vinnie Jones is, but Conor McGregor is one of the toughest guys on the planet, and so it's very convincing when he kind of goes into kind of fisticuffs. But what do you think? Jake Gyllenhaal, that's the name. Sorry, I couldn't remember. The original Roadhouse did have pro wrestling legend Terry Funk in there. Okay, so it's a precedent, is it? Is that what they're doing? You know what I might do? I might actually change, not this week, but for next week, the angle of this here microphone, because I'm very aware I do a lot of talking to here, and of course the microphone is in profile, whereas when I turn like that, if I could have the information that I need there, make a lot more sense, wouldn't it? Anyway, so yeah, not sure when it's coming out. 2024, remake of Roadhouse, and on the remake theme, you might be aware that Blade is now in the remake process. Let me just bring up the article. In all my shenanigans, I've forgotten the article that I wanted to read to you. I'm sure it was NME. Let's try that. No, it's not there. Let's have a look. Yeah, one of the original stars from the original Blade has been sounding off. Yeah, Stephen Dorff. Sorry. Let me just check that I've got the image. There he is. There's Stephen Dorff on camera now. Can I just explain another thing? The reason that I put the images in the centre of the screen is because on the off chance that Instagram actually works, which it didn't tonight, and possibly in the future TikTok, I've got to think about centralizing assets. That's why my title sequence is organized in the same way, straight on with things centralized, whereas ordinarily I'd do a kind of, kind of golden ratio, rule of thirds type vibe, but I'm not doing that, so it just explains it. So Stephen Dorff not very happy with the remake of Blade. He said anyone who goes there is going to be laughed at by everyone because we already did it and made the best. I quite like it. It's quite refreshing when people in Hollywood just say what they actually think. Stephen Dorff has trashed Marvel's upcoming remake of Blade, calling the current run of superhero movies worthless garbage. Oh my God, I love it though. I have to say though, I do think that a lot of kind of recent Disney-funded Marvel content has not been very good, and I kind of know where he's coming from. I just didn't expect a star to say it. Dorff starred alongside Wesley Snipes in the original Blade adaptation in the 90s. However, it seems that the actor isn't pleased that the day-walking vampire is coming back in a reboot. The actor told the Daily Beast, "There's no point in the film, as we already did it and made it the best." I have to agree, it is absolutely amazing. Like, The Blade is one of my favourite films from the 90s. Dorff said, "I think Divinity should be bought by the majors." Oh, this is his movie, so he's obviously getting back to his movie. Let me have a look what else he's saying about it. All this other garbage is just embarrassing. He's talking about the MCU. God bless them, they're making a bunch of money, but their movies suck. Isn't that incredible? Now, interestingly, I'm probably going to massacre this man's name. Mahershala Ali. He's the guy that's going to be playing the Wesley Snipes role, and I'm a big fan of this guy. He's on screen right now, actually. He's really cool. He was in that recent movie on, was it Netflix or Amazon? Really, really good movie, a kind of apocalyptic movie. He played a superb role in that film. What's her name? From Pretty Woman. What's her name? He starred alongside her, and he did a great job, and I think he's a really versatile talent, and he looks the role. He does look a bit like Wesley Snipes. He's the same sort of age. I reckon it'll work really, really well. Let's have a look. Guardians was good, but not much else, says Phil Hoy. Yep, so you're kind of agreeing with that. Magic Knight, big fan of the Blade films. The soundtrack will be interesting. Soundtracks, though, in recent years, I think tend to be rather good, because I think music has kind of gone in a really good way in terms of movie soundtracks. It's just the kind of agendas that a lot of Hollywood movies have to play with, the kind of balance, the political balance for certain sort of niche sectors of the audience. I think sometimes it can affect how enjoyable they are, and when they're a remake, that can be really problematic. Maybe that's what he's referring to. I was, of course, talking about Julia Roberts. Yes, McGathery. Yeah, the Julia Roberts movie. What is that one? It's a kind of apocalyptic movie. It's really, really good, where it's like North Korea have invaded. There's all kind of psyops and stuff. It's really, really quite clever, based on a very famous novel that was huge during lockdown for obvious reasons. Marvel Disney should give the people what they want, a Firefly reboot. That would be absolutely awesome. I would absolutely love that. And Kev Barnes has said Richard Gere. Oh, I see what you mean, because I was talking about Pretty Woman. Let me know the name of that movie with Mahershala Ali in it that was recently it was the biggest thing on Netflix or Amazon. Anyway, marvellous. And also, some more news. We reckon that the PS Vita is going to make a comeback. So the PS Vita, as you know, was the successor to the PSP. I remember on the Gadget Show, which for those of you who are new to chat, I used to host a show called The Gadget Show, in case you've not seen it. For about 12 years I did that show, and I went all over the world looking for tech and reviewing it. It was before the internet really kind of got into video content, and certainly before YouTube existed. The first 3 or 4 series were, at least. And I went over to Japan, and I was there at Sony headquarters in Tokyo, filming and playing with the first prototypes of what was then called the PSP, the PlayStation Portable, which became the Vita. I've got that the right way around, haven't I? I'm just looking for the name of that film. Let me know that film, guy, with Julia Roberts in. I really want to just, kind of square the circle and just come up with that. The Vita was a kind of much more sophisticated piece of product design, smaller, a much better offering, with loads of digital as well as physical content. I remember the cartridges, they were called UMDs, weren't they? Do you remember those? And Anyway, PS Vita 2 is being talked about. There's a lot of buzz around on the internet. There's some really reliable sources saying that it's coming. I don't know if Sony have said anything. Let me know. But I'm really excited about it. Great to see you, Jan Cooper. I was just thinking about you. Great to see you. Your daughter was playing on your OG Vita a couple of weeks ago. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? What were you playing? Crash Bandicoot? What were you playing on it? I remember I used to play Ridge Racer. I mean, it was an amazing thing to be able to watch movies on UMD disc cartridge type thingies, and then play games like Ridge Racer and some of the classic PlayStation titles. Right now, I guess younger gamers, they wouldn't get the novelty of it, but it was an absolutely amazing experience. And also, as a piece of industrial design, as you can see there, this is just some mock-ups. The PSP, look at it. That was beautiful. I actually prefer the design of the PSP with its translucent plastic inner to the Vita. The Vita's a bit meh. It looks to me to be a little bit more like a Switch. Nothing wrong with that, but it's got a kind of standard modern design ethos. And we know that recently Sony have released that kind of hybrid portable that you need to kind of be within the vicinity of a PS5 to play, and I don't think it was received very well. They're not beyond dropping the ball, you know, Sony, a bit like Apple actually. But with their when they get the fundamentals right, they can, as you know, produce epochal designs that change the culture going forward, and hopefully the PS Vita 2 could be such a device. I'm definitely in the market for one. We've got an expert in the house, Phil Hoy, and I've been waiting to see what he'd say. I've been saying we're getting a new Sony handheld for years, more based in hope than anything. Well, you would know. In PlayStation We Trust. There's a brand that you should remember. That's Philip Hoy's own podcast, In PlayStation We Trust. I've actually been a guest on that about a year ago. Maybe you can get me back on, actually. We could talk about my visit to Sony all those years ago, and we can have a chat about the Vita 2. We could also talk tangentially about Apple's new headset. That would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? And we could compare it to the PSVR 2. How about that? Okay, I found a PSP in the attic recently, said Ponder. And you've modded the what's-its off it. And the movie that I was talking about, thank you, Puddycat, for puddycatting me out of my misery. Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind. What a fantastic! I really enjoyed it. Very dark, slightly abstract. All the deer. What's going on there? No spoilers, but lots of deer. Oh dear. Okay, marvellous. So that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. And round about now, we'd like to welcome into the house my co-writer on FUAI, the amazing Mark Felgate, will hopefully can appear. And there he is! There he is! As if by magic! What are you doing there? Great to see you!
I've been waiting patiently amid all this streaming chaos.
Was that you? Did you pull out a plug? Is that what happened? I told you.
It was probably me.
Don't pull out that plug. I'll put a sticker on it.
My aura just interferes with anything technological. Oh, you're brave having me regularly on the show. You're crazy.
No, I'm not at all. We love you, and it's great to have you here. Mark Felgate, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Mark Felgate, comedian, magician, and co-writer of FUAI, the film that sponsors this show. This is the original poster artwork that I brought up there, Mark. Maybe you'd like to just tell anyone listening that's not familiar with the film what it's about, or we just look at the original poster artwork. We should have the new logo, Mark, that we talked about from a good friend of ours called Stuart. I'll replace that poor effort at graffiti from me on that poster. Hopefully next week we'll be able to reveal what we think is going to be the actual movie logo. But just give us a rundown. What's FUAI all about, Mark?
Well, basically, as you know, it's like the rollout of a global AI that goes haywire and just sends all the world into complete chaos, and that leads us to a band of retro gamers. They're attending an expo,
a little bit
and
they have to chat. A little bit like chat. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they have to then utilize their beloved 80s and 90s computers and consoles to try and outsmart the AI. And all around them, like financial markets are collapsing, safety systems are failing and falling apart, and society's just descending into darkness, and our group of gamers, they embark on a nostalgic and hilarious journey using outdated technology to become humanity's last hope.
No, beautifully done, by the way. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Nice little summary there. That's the only problem you've got there, though.
I'll take my bow.
He's saying that ZX Spectrums and Commodore 64s are outdated to this lot will get you hung, mate. That'll get your own plug unplugged. But yes.
Some of that is stuff you wrote saying this is what we want to talk about.
Yeah,
don't get me in trouble.
Pass the buck, mate. Pass the buck. Right. So, so basically, so Mark, why don't you just tell us a little bit about the process? Because, so Mark and I wrote a movie many years ago about golf, it's weird, called Pigeonhole. And we always wanted to do something with it, but we never did. Because writing a movie and actually selling a movie are two completely different things, it turns out. And then, Mark, you got quite ill, didn't you? And I said to you, he got really ill. It was a bit
ill.
It was a bit touch and go. It was a bit like, Mark!
I was literally, putting this shot, I lost the use of my arms and legs. I couldn't move.
Which I think is quite funny, but
I know.
But you didn't, because they were your arms and legs. And in all seriousness, you were very ill. And we said, right, when you get out of this, we're going to do that movie, the second movie that we talked about. And that's where it came from, isn't it? That's why we put that. And what was the process? People might be interested in the process. Just spend 2 minutes on it. We'll move on in a second. But what was the process?
Well, it's quite organic, because unusually most people wouldn't know this. We just meet up on Zoom or like through Facebook Messenger, and we would just write and throw ideas back and forth. I felt lazy at times because, Jason, you're an amazing touch typist.
Yeah, I type very quickly.
And so I just talk at Jason, and Jason goes, "Oh, okay," and types away.
Yeah.
But it's having fun, I think, when having writing as well.
Yeah, it is.
For me, it's having a laugh, because there's times we really do have a laugh when we're writing, putting stuff down on the page. But it's hard. I'm trying to distill what our process is.
Well, it's just. I mean, I can jump in there. So basically, I mean, I'm very structured, aren't I? So I'm really interested in movie theory, screenplay theory, and
I bring the crazy.
Well, I mean, you do genuinely. You bring most of the punchlines are yours because annoyingly, you're a lot funnier than I am, and so I'm good at seeing comic situations. And then you'll always steam in with a kind of line or something that's quite human and quite funny and maybe sometimes quite touching. And I'm a real stickler for structure. And ultimately, comedy or pathos or drama, whatever, doesn't come from the lines that you say, that a character says. It comes from the situation that they're in, and it comes from who they are and what you know about them, what their history is. And then really the art of writing a screenplay is just about trying to organise those moments in a way that people understand, and that's the kind of standard 90 to 120 second 20 minute movie technique, tried and tested. Anyway, that is FUAI. I did want to remember, and I've forgotten to show a few stills. We've got some stills from the Kickstarter movie that we're putting together. News on that this week. On Wednesday, just gone, I interviewed the director. We have a female director, an amazing woman called Elizabeth Blake Thomas. I won't tell you too much about her now because we've already spent long enough on this. But maybe we'll bring you news of that next week, and I might show you a picture of her. And I got her into a really cool location, filmed her. These are some images from some of the scenes that we filmed, because we don't want to put a Kickstarter pitch out there and ask people to pledge. Unless they've got an idea of what the movie looks like, and so that's the idea of doing those test scenes. And so we're moving on, and each week we'll keep you going with our kind of FUA diary. So Mark, thanks for that little update. Good to see you. Going to stay around for the quiz?
Yeah, of course. I love the quiz. I mean, you kindly sent me some of the questions. I have no idea of the answers because I like to play along.
Let's roll it. Okay, fantastic. Way of the Exploding Quiz is our opportunity for me to leave up pictures of people in face masks, which is rather confusing, and ask you a bunch of questions which you then answer in chat. What I've done this week is I've taken away the numbering system, because sometimes people would write number 1 or number 3 as their answer. What I want you to do is to write your answer into chat. Now, all you need to do is write your answer in and not kind of like make a kind of political case to kind of get elected as the correct answer. Because the idea, obviously, is if you convince more people of your answer, you're losing out, because they're probably going to then go, all right, well, I didn't know the answer to that, so I'll go with it. So just the answers in chat. Does that sound good? Absolutely marvellous. So, Mark, have you got your questions there?
I have indeed.
Right, just gonna bring
Do you want to fire away with the first one?
Not yet. Not ready yet, my friend. Chance to be a fire.
Oh.
Just bear with me. Just bear with me. Let's have a quick look. Okay. Right. Okay, I'm just going to do this for you. I'm just going to do this. All right, just bear with me. So check this out. This is the new show Sting. I might play that a couple of times. I'm going to bring up question number 1. And that's not going to work, is it? There we go. I'm going to take it out. I'm just going to do it one more time. Because question number 1 relates to the new Sting that I've worked so hard on this week. Have a look one more time. Where the Exploding Show. There we go. And then question number 1, you've probably worked out now the idea. We'll just wait for the new Sting to go. And question number 1 is as follows. Mark, if you'd like to read it out, good luck. Question number 1 in tonight's Way of the Exploding quiz.
Right, here we go. Which famous 80s/90s movie poster font does not feature in this show's new titles sequence?
It's tough, man. It's tough.
Right. So the answers are Blade Runner. Is it Alien? Is it Time Cop? Or Back to the Future?
Thank you.
I'll repeat that again.
No,
yeah?
no, you don't need to. You don't need to. It's on the screen.
Oh, it's on the screen.
And you read it so emphatically. You don't need to read it again.
I know.
Which famous 80s, 90s movie poster font does not feature in this show's new
Oh, you
title?
did. I just read it. You
Blade
just said your
Runner,
cheeky so.
Alien, Time Cop, or Back to the Future. Have a think. Whack it into chat. So we've got proof of whether you got it or not. So it's the one that does not feature. Question number 1. Interesting. Seeing some really good answers in chat. Look, Mark. Can you see chat tonight? Or you're not able to?
I can't see chat at the moment. I've got the question stuff on my laptop, but I'm watching the show on my phone. I think I'm on X at the moment watching it.
Okay, that's no problem. Okay, so there we go. So there's a bit of time for you. There's a bit of time. What you can say? You can say something, Mark?
No, I'm trying to keep quiet and not interrupt you.
What you like. Okay, question number 1. Question number 1's done in tonight's Way of the Exploding quiz. Marvellous. We'll come and do the answers at the end. We've got 8 tonight. We might get to 10. It depends what time we're on. Although I haven't wasted 18 minutes before we started tonight. I better get moving. Question number 2. Yeah, I need to just look at this because I need to make sure. Right, okay. Here's a new segment. Sting. Check out the new Sting. Another question about the new Sting. There it is, look, in all of its glory. I might have to do it one more time for you. Here we go. One more time. There it is. There's the new Sting. And following hot on its heels when it scoots off the screen will be question number 2. Good night. Good luck in tonight's question number 2. I read. No, you read this one out, Mark. Go on. Go for it.
You want me to read it? Okay, here we go. What about the famous poster font for our news segment? What film is it from? Is it Blade Runner, Alien, Time Cop, or Terminator?
Okay, so this is what it is. All right, the last one was what it wasn't. This is what it is. All right. What about the famous poster font for our news segment? What film is it from? Blade Runner, Alien, Time Cop, or Terminator? I'm going to play it for you again, actually, because I'm a nice guy. I'll get rid of the question, and I'll do this. There we go.
I'm going to watch closely. I'm going to see because I don't know the answers, so myself.
Okay, there you go. So answers in chat. Where's it from? Lots of different answers. This quiz could be called the Fonts of All Knowledge. I like it. Beautiful. That's question number 2. We're going to move straight on. I'm just going to quickly just check my little notes to make sure Yeah, no, this is just a general one. Question number 3, Mark, if you'd like to read this one out, please.
Okay, what was the name of the robotic dog smart toy released by Sony in the late 90s? Was it K90, Furby, Tamagotchi, or Aibo? Did I pronounce that right? Aibo?
Yes.
Aibo? Aibo. Okay.
Yeah, so there you go. There are the options. This is another thing that I actually got my hands on as a result of being given a
What?
plane ticket. Behave yourself, Mark. A plane ticket to fly around the world and test out gadgets. But what was it? What did I get my hands on? A K90, a Furby, a Tamagotchi, or an Aibo? So there you go. They are your options. Some interesting options in chat. Wolfie, that's not one of the answers, Brooks. There we go. So welcome. By the way, if you're playing with us tonight for the first time, or you're just sort of like sitting on the peripherals having a look, thinking, what the hell is going on? What is this? Welcome to Wave the Exploding Show. This is a brand new show that's multi-streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, X, sometimes Instagram, I think. And did I say Twitch? And ultimately TikTok. And yeah, what we talk about is anything to do with pop culture from the 80s and 90s, anything south of the 2000s is where we're at. Okay, so everyone's done that. Marvellous. Thank you so much. Hello, Battle Rigs. Nice to see you. Didn't see you earlier. Good to see you. What question was that? Was that question number 3, was it? Was that question number 3?
Yeah, I think we're on question 4 now, if I'm right.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you an image for question number 4. And there's the question. I'll read this one out, Mark, just because I missed this. You will recognise this iconic piece of tech from 2001. But how much memory did it have? When they released it, how much memory did it have? Oh, that's a tricky one. Was it 5 gigabytes? Was it 128 megabytes? Was it 32 megabytes? Or was it 1 gigabyte? What sort of memory do you think they had available 2001? 2001.